found the world's tiniest orchids, or snapdragons.
Hi guys, I'm Ray.
And I'm Dad.
And today
we're out in the Texas Hill Country, about an hour and a half outside of Houston, Texas, looking for beautiful wildflowers to share with all of you.
Yep, so make sure to enjoy.
On our way to go see the Texas wildflowers. Yay! Here's the little town of Chapel Hill, Texas. And it looks like we may be here in time for a bluebonnet festival. I see a big sign up ahead. It's fun driving through these old Texas towns and see the architecture and the old walkways.
And the cats crossing the road.
Crossing the road. Oh,
yeah, watch out, kitty.
Cat. There you go. There you go, kitty. So, second weekend of April. It was a couple weekends ago was a bluebonnet festival. We'll have to remember that for next year. But I love this old area. So this bank was from 1878. These old 1800s buildings in this little town. Going into Washington, the Brazos State Park. All right, we're at Washington on the Brazos, a Texas Historical Commission.
And there's the exclamation point.
Which is Texas. That was pretty funny, huh? Ray noticed that on the way in, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so heading into the museum, and look at all the little signatures that are on top. I think that you see them from the other side. So we're gonna get the door for Ray. And here's inside the museum for the Visitor Center of Washington on the Brazos. Here's a map and a little bit about everything that's here. So they have the Star of the Republic Museum, which we love, and they have a whole bunch of hands-on stuff for kids. They have the old Washington Town site. They have the Fanthorpe Inn, which is a little ways away from here, and I don't think we're going to be able to do that today, but we'll do that another time. And then they actually have the Barrington Living History Museum, where during certain times of the year, they actually have people that do the activities just like they would have done in the 1800s. We'll come back another day and do a tour of the museum, but today we're focused on the wildflowers. So we're about an hour and a half outside of Houston, Texas, where we're at, going towards Austin. And so there's a bunch of state parks and rolling hills and farmland out here where you can come take a tour and cruise through and see a lot of these bluebonnets. This happens to be an important historic site as well. And like I said earlier, we're going to come back and do another tour here, talking about the history a little bit more, but this area is known as Washington on the Brazos. And this is basically the Philadelphia of Texas. It's where they signed the Texas Declaration of Independence at during the War for Independence. So that's what's famous about this spot. And here's a little sign about that here that I'll just show real quick. And when we come back, we'll do a much more detailed look and talk a lot more about the history and go see all the different museums that are here. There's a number of museums with all kinds of articles about independence. But for today, we are all about these wildflowers and all these bluebonnets. Look at these pretty purple flowers. Wow. Look at all these flowers. I don't know what kind of flowers these are, but they're really pretty. So if anybody knows, you can comment down below. But the wildflowers are all popping here in Texas Hill Country. So here's a little bit more, although, as I said, we're here to see the wildflowers. Here's a replica of the hall where they signed the Texas Declaration of Independence. And I think it's worth showing while we're here, walking around. Pretty cool. This is pretty nice. I basically have the whole place to myself right now. Ray's still on crutches, so she's not going to go as far with me to go check out all the different spots, but I'm going to go walk through here and see if I can find some more nice wildflowers for you all. One thing that's great are all the butterflies with all the different wildflowers being out here. There are butterflies everywhere, and look at all these different flowers. Look, in just this one couple square foot area. I wish I knew the name of all these flowers. Those are bluebonnets. But there's these yellow flowers and red flowers, and this is a paintbrush. You know, that one. And here's our classic Texas bluebonnet right here. And I'm not sure what these ones are, or these are, but they're all over. These are thistles. I know those are thistles. And walking this way, I'm not sure where this is going to take me, but if we look that direction, you just see all the wildflowers inside of all this tall grass. So one thing to remember if anybody comes here is that animals that like this tall grass are things like rattlesnakes. We do have rattlesnakes out here. So be very careful if you come out here and take pictures. There's been stories about people hiking out into this and sitting for a picture and then getting bitten by rattlesnakes. So be very careful and be very aware. So this is kind of cool. This is a brick cistern from 1842, and this was the site of a hotel. The first hotel, known as the Roberts Hotel. It's kind of cool. So this is what's left of this hotel that used to be here. And there's a picture of what it looked like. So, wow, this was used for the water collection for the hotel. Maybe what this would have looked like if you're looking down this road when this was a boom town. And of course, it's maybe a little more difficult to see, but this is what the Ferry Street looked like at 1850, and showing the rows of buildings going back. And the big houses that would have been right over here that are all gone now. Pretty cool, and pretty cool to think about. So you can see all these different wildflowers. I don't know what these ones are called, but there's just a sea of wildflowers out here. It's amazing and beautiful. So here I am among all the wildflowers, and you can see they just go and go, and I really need a wildflower guide to come out here. Maybe next time I come out, I've got to find somebody who's a botanist or knows a lot about flowers. But it's so pretty out here. And so many wildflowers, just thousands of them. Wow, just beautiful. Dandelions getting ready to pop. And there's some nice bluebonnets. So we're out on the 25th of April, so to give you an idea how the flowers look now, I don't know how much longer they're going to last. They're kind of at their peak. And if I raise this up high, look at all those flowers behind me. Look at all those flowers back there, all the yellows and purples and whites. Pretty spectacular. Wow. It's kind of an interesting formation. I think it's ivy growing around maybe some old structure here, an old tree trunk. That's pretty cool. So the river just sits right over in here. So here is approaching the old river ferry here, and it's so overgrown it's hard to see, but right in there is the Brazos River. You know, if you come in the winter, you can see through here a lot better. The Brazos River's there, and that used to be a main way for people to go up and down. And I don't know if you can see, but here's an old ferry line that comes from one side of the river to the other, and they'd ferry people back and forth. So if you like being in nature, it's pretty neat to walk through this area, watch on the Brazos as well. There's some of these little side trails that go around. I'm doing the loop, which I think is about a mile, that goes through the wildflowers. You'll see here now I'm in more of the forested area. There's not as many wildflowers in here, but it sure is green and beautiful. And we like this trail a lot. There's actually one of our favorite trees is coming up, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. In fact, Ray asked if I could hike to it just to get a picture of this tree. It's probably one of the most gnarled and most unique looking trees we've ever seen. And we've been getting pictures of all of us there in front of this tree since Ray was probably 1 or 2 years old. So she remembers a specific tree when we come to this state park. So this is one of our favorite trees anywhere we've ever been. So what's so unique about this tree? Well, it has the most unique shapes growing out of it. I don't know what these mean, if it's some kind of weird, not healthy thing, growth for the tree, but it has all these gnarls and these what are they, like knots, but they're gigantic, and the tree branches are twisted. It is just, we've always loved this tree. Ever since Ray was little, this has been one of her favorite trees anywhere we've been. It just has such a unique look to it. And you can see just the patterns on it are just gorgeous, actually, is what we call it. We just think it's so neat, but we've always really enjoyed this tree. And we're so happy to see it alive and thriving. It looked pretty rough for a couple years, but it looks like it's doing really well, which makes us very happy. So this is one of Ray's favorite trees. So I hiked all the way here just to get a picture of this tree for Ray, so she could see it. And so I thought I'd share it with all of you as well. Our next location is going to be a place called Independence, Texas. And Independence is famous because that's actually where Baylor University started. It's no longer located there, but that's where it actually got its start, was in Independence, Texas. And also Sam Houston, which we have a video on, we'll link up above. Actually, one of his houses is there, where he lived for a while. And I don't know if it was actually transported in or if that's actually where he lived. So we'll take a look and find out. Once again, this is a wildflower hunt, but all these places with the nice wildflowers are in areas with a lot of great history. So let's keep looking at those wildflowers, and then we'll catch up with you all in Independence, Texas. Bunch of cows off to the right on this country road on our way to Independence, Texas, to see some more wildflowers.
Lots of baby cows. Lots of cows.
Welcome to Independence, Texas. So we are here seeing the wildflowers at the old Baylor Female College. The other old Baylor site is over here, and this is the Independence area. It's a really cool old town. It has great wildflowers during this time of year. Flowers here, however, unfortunately, I think the bluebonnets are not here right now, or they've already come and gone in this area. There's a lot of the paintbrushes here, and a lot of these yellow flowers, which I don't know what they are. They kind of remind me of some kind of daisy, I guess, going across here. But this is a nice spot, and this, I think, this cabin here is one of Sam Houston's old homes, and we'll go take a look at that as well. Let's go take a look at the old Baylor University building as we walk along here. It's really neat seeing these old columns here, just sitting here in the middle kind of this hill and of this forest. So as I turn around, you're gonna see that all that's left of this old university, which have these beautiful columns, are some buildings over there. There's some buildings out in the distance, and then the actual columns that were the entrance. You can see how tall these are. That's what's amazing. So if I'm down here and you can look up, I mean, these things have to be, I don't know, 60 feet tall, you know, something like, I don't know, 20 meters tall for those of you in the metric system. So pretty spectacular. So it's opened in 1846, old Baylor University building. Pretty cool to see. That's where they would have walked in at. There used to be a big building right there, but now that all that survives are these columns, which are pretty cool. Look at all these wildflowers. There's reds and blues and whites and yellow and oranges. And best of all, along with all these flowers, there's a rock. And on that rock is a ray. Hi, Ray. What kind of rock is this? Do you know, Ray?
Rock.
It's a rock. It's limestone. So pretty
It's
cool.
also very spiky.
Yeah, very spiky. Yeah, limestone can be very spiky when it weathers. Cool. So here's a whole bunch of the flowers in Independence, Texas. All right, folks, we were driving down the road and then we saw this. That is literally a sea of wildflower bluebonnets on this ranch. It is unreal. Let me go over this barbed wire here so you kind of see how far it goes. Here's a close-up of some of these bluebonnets for everybody coming through this fence and being able to see the sea of bluebonnets for as far as the eye can see out there. It's pretty amazing. So many beautiful bluebonnets. There's people out there so you can get an idea of scale. I'm just going to stop here and let everybody just take all this in, because it is pretty spectacular. It's not very often we see a sea of bluebonnets like this. All right, Ray, what did you think about this wildflower journey?
I thought it was super cool and beautiful. I love seeing all of the wildflowers, as you can see behind us. This smells so good right now. It's like honey.
It smells sweet, right?
Yeah.
So it's what's kind of neat. So you'll see behind us this giant field of bluebonnets that are out here. It's amazing seeing these wildflowers out here. I really enjoyed this trip today, going and checking them out at Washington, the Brazos, going to Independence. We're on our way now to Brenham, and we're going to stop there at our little favorite sandwich shop called Must Be Heaven. So we'll give them a plug in Brenham, Texas.
Num num.
Num num. Yeah, num nums. We hope you enjoyed this trip with us. Look at these beautiful wildflowers. If you're in the Texas area, try to get out soon to come see the wildflowers.
Yep, so make sure to subscribe to our channel and like this video. And once you subscribe, press the bell for notifications so you know when we upload a new video. And most of all, enjoy.